Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, the German frigate Warship that was sent with so much fanfare to fight the Houthis, the Yemenis, is going back home with its tail between its legs or with a successful operation under its belt. Which one is it? Well, I will tell you which one is it. It is because I will analyze two articles from the opposite sides. One is going to be from DPA International, the other one which is going to be pro this vessel coming back home and the reasons why, successful operation, whereas the other one comes from Sputnik that gives us a small detail that tells us, no, actually there's a little deal here. Oh, no, so it was not successful. Let's see what happened. And this will also get me to the second point of this video, which is the Russian Northern Sea route. If you think that what's going on over there in the Suez Canal and the straits of this and the straits of that and the Red Sea and that is just because there are some crazies over there, no, that's an ongoing fight between Russia and the wannabe controllers of this planet in getting their little northern passage working, which will save about 4,000 nautical miles from traveling from Asia to Europe. Therefore, they're going to have billions of dollars. So if Russia is able, because politically it seems like it can't, somehow make people be weary going through the Suez Canal and taking the Russian route, these guys are going to lose a ton of money and the Russians will gain a lot of money. So remember, that's the Northern Sea route. We're going to talk about that as well. So let's start with the first article. Well, I call it lying by omission, or maybe not lying by omission, but shaping the opinion by omission, because this detail that Sputnik will give us, I think, changes a lot of angles or lenses. Here, DPA International. This is from today, April 20th, 2024. German warship ends mission against Houthi militants in Red Sea. So when I read this, I was, so they won? Why would you leave? Why would they leave? I said, well, that means the Americans, the Germans, the whomever, the Brits, whomever are over there to defend someone else's interest mainly, and their own interest as well, won. I haven't heard anything about a victory declared or the Houthis being flattened or anything like that. Did you hear anything about that? I didn't. You know why? It didn't happen. Did not happen. So I said, what could it be? So I read the whole article. Can you believe that? Before starting my video, looking for that keyword. After they destroyed the Houthis, I couldn't find it. So I said, why is it coming? Why is it coming back home? The German warship. Well, I'll tell you. They got promised. You'll see here. So I'm reading here, a German warship ended its mission protecting merchant shipping from Houthi militants in Yemen and departed from the Red Sea early on Sunday morning. So I'm thinking, well, okay, so you were over there to protect merchant ships from these guys. That means these guys lost or something. That you leave. You're not living in the middle of the war, would you? No, but we're going to find out. The frigate was part of the EU's defensive naval mission and was deployed in the Red Sea in February to protect merchant ships from attacks by the militants who are protesting against the war in Gaza. Don't mention the name that should not be mentioned. It's the war in Gaza. Okay. The Red Sea is home of the most and I'm looking here, looking for something else. Like 240 people on board completed the mission at 5:50 a.m. I don't think they were just said, okay, we're going to be here from February, March, April. Let's say 2 months, that's the operation, I will go home. I don't think it was like that, because I'm going to tell you it was not, I think. And left the area of operations, the Bundeswehr said. The crew, this is what they said. The vessel was deployed on February 23. After a series of attacks on merchant vessels, major shipping companies began avoiding the Red Sea, part of the shortest sea route between Asia You think so? You think so? What do we have here? That's a lie. It's a little caveat here. If the Russians are capable of making this operational, and they say they are. Why? Because they have those nuclear icebreakers. They're going to make sure this is going to be available and clear and ready and whatever. So this is the shortest, not this one right here. But let's go back to our little ship. Right? So again, part of the shortest sea route, yeah, okay, impacting the global economy. The German Defense Ministry said the vessel safety escorted 27 merchant ships through the area of operation. In 4 cases, Houthi drones and missiles were successfully countered, the military said. Okay, in total, the frigate covered more than 11,000 kilometers in the area of operation. So it's about 7,000 miles. So, beep, 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 boo, 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 nothing, you see? It doesn't say anything else. And let's view comments. The end of the article. And now let's go to the little detail that will change this successful operation. I used to have a friend, a good friend, the best friend, who used to tell me this garbage when we were supposed to do something together. I know, we organized to go in the mountains or go organizing something together. And I don't know, the night before we were supposed to leave, he would call me and say, there's a little problem. We have a little problem. Oh, if it's a little, that's a little problem. We can solve it. But the little problem canceled the trip. So it was not a little problem. It was a big problem, the problem. So same here. Let me show you the little detail that would change all this. We're going home, baby doll. We fucked up the Houthis. Okay, let's go to the next article. And it's, as I said, from Sputnik. Here it is. German frigate quits Red Sea mission day after Houthis offer EU ships, European Union ships, safe passage. Say what? Exactly. So the Houthis did not lose, but they told these guys, hey, you know what? Why don't you take your garbage back? We're not going to attack your things. And supposedly the German says, yeah, come back home. Come home. No. So this could be one other, and detail the other article ignored. 2 separate NATO country-led coalitions were created to try to blunt the Houthis' missile and drone capabilities and restore a semblance of maritime security in the Red Sea for Israeli and Western commercial shipping. It was only about this first, but then changing to this because some people stick their nose. The Hessen, a Navy German frigate deployed to the Red Sea in late February to take part in Operation Aspides. I don't know if you pronounce it that way. That's the way I pronounce it, and that's the way it is. The European Union-led mission to protect regional shipping against attacks by Yemen Houthi militias completed its mission and departed from the region early Saturday morning. All right, there you go. So let's see what happened here. Houthi leader urged European countries on Thursday, today is Saturday, to withdraw their military assets from the Red Sea, saying, and I'm quoting, there is no danger to the navigation of European countries which are not heading towards the Israeli enemy, so they can pass safely, end quote. Now, we don't know if these guys, the Houthi leader, knew about the Germans. They say this, and an idiot Emil comes and says, no, actually, that's why the Germans left, because the Houthi leader allows them. Very possible, I'll tell you why. I don't think that kind of decision is made by the Germans in 2 days. Actually, a day, and the next day they leave. So let's say on Thursday, the Houthi leader comes, we're not going to attack you, and then it's Friday, everybody goes and parties, and then obviously on Saturday, the frigate comes home. The decisions are not like that. But or maybe the Houthis knew these guys intend to do that. They made the statement to appear for some that that was the case, right? I'm not ignoring that possibility. Why? Because of the time. If that was the statement was issued on Thursday and these guys leave on Saturday, or at least this is just a decision. Let me read. It was the decision, or they leave. What they say? Oh, just a second. They didn't leave. It just in a statement, the Bundeswehr said the 143-meter long crew was heading back to Germany after spending. So it's heading back. So, but they say, well, you're good to go. And it says, we tell, and I'm quoting, we tell the Europeans that it is in your interest to withdraw your military units that cost you a lot and involve you in dangers and skirmishes for the benefit of the United States of America. End quote. Al-Houthi said, promising European countries coordination with Yemen to secure safe passage for commercial cargoes without being targeted. Oh, so European Union will cooperate with the Houthis? I don't think so. Al Capone will come and restore order in the quarters, smack everybody around like an angry dad when the kids don't sleep. Oh shit! It says separately this week, Houthi politician bureau member said that told Sputnik Arabic that the militia would continue, I'm quoting, continue to target American and British ships as a legitimate and guaranteed right to respond to American British attacks on Yemen. All right, so let's talk about this right here, I was about to say middle passage, but let me show you this first. So we know who's who, what's what. So Israel is right here, this excellent color right there. Looks like a chocolate. No, don't flush the toilet door, though. Here's the Red Sea, okay? So this is the canal, Suez Canal, running into the Mediterranean Sea. So this is the passage, Red Sea. We have the Houthis here in, how I want to call it, southwest of Yemen. So they got like half of it, but where it's important, okay? So they have this little Strait of Madeb, or whatever it is called, right here under control, while the Americans have this area. And then you have obviously Iran far, far away. And let's go to Moscow is betting big on its Arctic shipping route as the cost money of invading Ukraine continued to mount. That's not what it is. The Western media and these guys tried to denigrate, made such a bad news published about, You know, I took the words like this in my palm and I said, that's how it came. What do you want, man? Anyway, so they published a lot of negative news and articles regarding the alternative. Why? Because it's about money. Money. That's what it is. So now they tell, oh, it's the war in Ukraine that didn't stop shit. The Russians still have those atomic icebreakers, and they can imagine the Russians can and will convince the Chinese or others to bring their merchandise through their route. How much money? Well, they're going to tell us. This little article. So this is an icebreaker right there. It says Russia is spending billions to replace its aging fleet of Soviet-era nuclear icebreakers in a bid to keep their Northern Sea route clear. Well, they're gonna do it. They have profits, a lot of them. So Russia is operating more icebreakers along its Arctic coast now than at any time in the country's 3 decades post-Soviet history. Yeah, but with the global warming, then they're not gonna need that, right? And you're gonna have to drag your ships by the equator, right? Equator, because it's going to be dry over there. You're going to go to the Russian side where the seas are still seas, or the oceans. Some are among the world's most powerful nuclear vessels, and the country has plans to build even more, having committed to investing at least $35 billion. 51 billion into what's going on here? Into its frozen northern waters until 2030. President Putin is betting big on developing the world's next major shipping route. No, the shortest, that will cut 4,000 nautical miles. 4,000 is more than, I think, the United States of America's width. if I remember correctly, or something like this, 4,000, of the standard journey between Europe and Asia through Egypt's Suez Canal. If Russia gamble pays off, within the next decade, there are plans for 200 million tons of cargo per year to be moving through these waters, adding more than 500 million to Russia's GDP. A year? I think they are talking about per year. So that's $500 million right there. So they will get their money back. They will get their money back, and they will screw the other guys out. What do we have here? So this is the route. As I said before, here is where the Houthis are. Right, the Houthis are right here. This is the Red Sea. This is Suez Canal. This is Mediterranean Sea. They go here. Yeah, I was thinking by Spain here, by Gibraltar. That is still under the British control. Why? Well, they're not. Only the Russians are. How do you call them? How do they call them? Imperialist. Only the Russians are imperialist, but the British have the Gibraltar, have the whatever by I can't remember what's the name is Malvins in by Argentina. They have many other locations that they own, but the Russians are the imperialists, not these guys. No. Anyway, so let's go back. So here by Gibraltar, and they go to where? To Rotterdam. That's the main route, Rotterdam. Now this guy said, you know what? We're not gonna come here by the Philippines and all these guys here. We're gonna and by the how you call it? China is the main thing here. Obviously, they're gonna go up here, China, Sea of Japan, Kuril Islands. They go to the Kamchatka. They go through the Bering Strait and then go through all this and take a dump right now, saving 3,000 nautical miles, my friends. But do you think these guys don't want it? Will want that? The Russians definitely want it, and it's gonna happen. You know how it's gonna happen? When these things really break in two, and it's an economic decision, as an economic business decision. But hey, these guys keep their garbage, so they're gonna lose money. I'm talking about the Westerners. They're gonna lose money, but they're not gonna use the other one because they're gonna lose the power. And the companies are saying yes, sir. I mean, it's like you say, well, if I go this way, let's say I'm a trucking company, loading, hauling stuff, and this route distance, because they work on the distance, because that's how they pay per mile and per job, whatever. So logically, I'm gonna not go around like that. Someone is paying me somewhere because I'm losing money if I take your route instead of this route. Someone is paying me the money. Why do I agree? How can I agree to lose money when I'm in business for profit? I'm a business. I'm in business for profit, not to provide you with goods. If I would be in the business of providing you with goods, I would do it for free. So no, I'm doing it to make the fucking money. I'm looking what's the need, supply and demand, and I supply it, the demand. And if I do a good job and I outcompete everybody else, unless the government helps them, and then they bankrupt me like they do right now with how do you call it, fossil fuel engines. They're not competing with the battery ones. There's no competition. When the government comes in and offers the American people tax breaks of up to $7,500 or $7,200 at taxes, if you buy an electric car versus zero taxes cuts for buying a fossil fuel, how do you call that? And you know who's paying the $7,200 the revenue that should be going to the government? The rest, including the guys that buy the vehicle. Why? The guys are going to tax you more because they need their revenue, because the government screws its revenue, right, by giving you tax breaks. And that means less money coming, so it has to get the money from somewhere. It's going to raise taxes somewhere else. It's going to get it from you, fucker. But in the meantime, the battery-operated vehicles, the industry will win, will make profits. So you see, the government does not work in your interest in this case, because it's going to tax you to get its, what the hell is over there, coffers. But this is unfair competition when I give you the same here. Someone must be paying these shipping companies somewhere in order to pick the longer route instead of the shorter route. You can say, well, no, because actually for them, they make more money. It makes more sense. But then the guys who pay the trucking company, because they, well, no, the shipping companies, they charge you based on the length. Yeah, but who's the charged one? The one who wants the product from point A to point B. So that guy wants to pay less, right? But if you charge me for the distance being this much, you can't charge me the same amount for a distance this much. So I should go to the guys that offer me this much, the transport companies. This is a distance. I will pay less, I will save money, I will make a profit, and I'm going to bankrupt the competition. That's how it is. I will bankrupt you. I get monopoly, and then if I don't give the right amount at the campaign donations, they're going to say, break me. With what? With monopoly laws and policies. Monopoly. Remember, you have a monopoly, you can't. Let's play monopoly, I want this one. That's the way it is. So, unless you cough up the right people, pam, 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 and they will destroy you, they will break you. It's called not monopoly, it's called, I don't fucking know how it's called. Anyway, you know what I mean. So the whole thing here with the Houthis, who could have been activated, I don't think it's only yes, we're going to destroy the Israelis' transport and yeah, that is part of it. But on the other hand, remember, the Russians are staying over there and they want to activate their little Northern Sea route. As the other ones want to them up, these guys want to them up as well. Allies, friends, partners, this is just euphemisms. They are competitors. They could be temporarily aligned, their interest is aligned, it coincides for a short duration to destroy some other competition, and after that immediately pop out, and then they bring back maybe the guy that they ate or they attacked. If you eat him, it depends what kind you eat I'm talking about. So if you attack that guy, you might be an ally to that guy to attack the guy that you used 3 years ago. Unless that guy is gonna be shut the fuck up, I'm gonna do whatever you want, just don't, like the Europeans do to Al Capone. And not only Australia, Japan, South Korea, New Zealand, these are the vassal states. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So I don't think that the Germans just decided mission accomplished. I haven't heard these guys bragging about it. Mission accomplished, we destroyed the Houthis. Ain't happening yet. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.